Magic: The Gathering stands as a masterclass in high fantasy world building due to its unparalleled ability to create diverse and immersive universes across its multitude of sets. Each plane within its multiverse is a meticulously crafted realm, complete with its own lore, distinct cultures, and magical ecosystems. Wizards of the Coast draw inspiration from a myriad of mythologies, literature, and historical periods, seamlessly weaving together a tapestry of imaginative landscapes that range from gothic horror to steampunk metropolises. The attention to detail in Magic's world building is evident not only in amazing, thematically fitting artwork that adorns each card, but also in the interconnected narratives that unfold across different sets. From the adventure-filled New World Conquistador-themed plane of Ixalan to the vibrant city world of Ravnica, Magic: The Gathering transcends the confines of a card game, offering world-building enthusiasts a passport to explore rich, fantastical realms that ignite the imagination and contribute to its enduring appeal. I decided to explore in depth some of my favorite pop culture world-building references, and there is no better place to start than Magic. Welcome to Supernova, your fantasy and sci-fi cosmic explosion. And this is the world building of Magic: The Gathering. Let's get to it. Magic has left an indelible mark on the world of tabletop gaming and beyond, making a profound impact that extends to various aspects of entertainment. Since its debut in 1993, Magic has not only defined the collectible card game genre, but has also pioneered innovative game mechanics and storytelling within its expansive multiverse. A player in Magic takes the role of a planeswalker, a powerful wizard who can travel between planes or dimensions of the multiverse, battling other players as planeswalkers by casting spells, using artifacts, and summoning creatures as depicted on individual cards drawn from their individual decks. This feature is important because it allows each set to be developed in a unique world with a unique set of fantasy references, and the player, as a planeswalker, has a narrative justification to be able to travel between planes with the introduction of each new set. In order for me to convey how the world building of Magic evolved throughout the course of its 30 years of history, I first need to briefly introduce the concept of the color wheel as well, because it is the cornerstone of the lore, and it is also a very interesting creative constraint for the authors while coming up with new planes and sets. So the game's Magic system has 5 different mana sources, each representing distinct philosophies, playstyles, and characteristics. They also have different strengths and weaknesses, allegiances, and specific game mechanics that fit their identity. The colors are white, blue, black, red, and green. Here's a brief overview of each color. White is associated with order, law, and community. It values peace, justice, and the collective good. In terms of playstyle, white cards often focus on protection, life gain, and creating a sense of unity among creatures. White decks excel at defensive strategies. It has blue and green as allies, and black and red as enemies. Blue is linked to knowledge, logic, and manipulation. It seeks perfection through information and control. Its playstyle is known for counterspells, card draw, and manipulation of the battlefield. Blue decks emphasize intellect, control, and adaptability. It has black and white as allies, and green and red as enemies. Black is aligned with ambition, power, and self-interest. It values individuality and is willing to make sacrifices for personal gain. Black cards often involve life manipulation, destruction, and powerful creatures. Black decks focus on resourcefulness, sometimes at the cost of personal life. It has blue and red as allies and green and white as enemies. Red embodies passion, chaos, and impulsiveness. It values freedom, emotion, and spontaneity. Red cards are known for direct damage, fast creatures, and aggressive strategies. Red decks aim to overwhelm opponents quickly. It has black and green as allies and white and blue as enemies. Green is connected to nature, growth, and harmony. It values the cycle of life, strength, and the natural order. Green cards often involve mana ramp, creature growth, and nature-based themes. Green decks focus on powerful creatures and resilience. It has red and white as allies and blue and black as enemies. In addition to these 5 colors, Magic recognizes color combinations, representing the overlap of 2 or more colors. These combinations are known as guilds or shards, and they offer unique playstyles that blend the characteristics of their constituent colors. The color wheel is a versatile and dynamic aspect of Magic, providing players with diverse options for deck construction and strategic gameplay. What's interesting about this color wheel is that it allows the players to inject some personality and style into their gameplay. You can pick a favorite color that represents your gaming style more accurately and even combine them. The color wheel also allows a lot of interesting flavors to the world when we analyze every card through the prism of the system. The relationship between them is also thought out and interesting. For example, it makes perfect sense for black, the most selfish and self-indulgent color, to have red and blue as allies, which are both colors who represent an individual pursuit. This pursuit being of pleasure, impulsivity, and emotionality, in the case of red, and self-improvement, knowledge and control, in the case of blue. It also makes sense that its enemy colors would be green and white. Both colors in the wheel cater more to the collective. A similar analysis can be made for any of the other color relationships, and it holds up for the entire wheel. Another great aspect of the color wheel, as I mentioned, it is how it offers a very interesting creative constraint to each new world Magic creates, because ultimately, all the creatures, enchantments, spells, characters, and artifacts in that world have both to fit the theme of the world and also be divided into the 5 colors of the color wheel in a way that they feel balanced, well represented, and thematically fitting. With that out of the way, let's move on now to explore how the world building evolved over the years. In the first few years of the game, Wizards of the Coast introduced Dominaria, a plane heavily inspired by classic high fantasy tropes with a mix of medieval and mythical elements. This included fantasy races such as humans, elves, dwarves, goblins, merfolk, and dragons, and it was mostly focused on traditional Tolkien-esque fantasy elements, even though a new set of magic cards with a different reference point would be released here and there, such as Mirage, which had African fantasy elements to it. In earlier years, the game worked hard to have a fantasy flavor, but the world-building elements weren't as cohesive and deeply thought out as they are today. This early era lasted until 1997. Up until then, Wizards of the Coast would tell their stories separately, per set and block. This then changed with the introduction of the Weatherlight Saga, which had a set of characters and stories that the players could follow for several years. This lasted until 2001. The narrative-driven Weatherlight Saga spanned multiple sets, introducing iconic characters like Gerard Capashen and Urza. This marked the era in which Magic started exploring interconnected storylines and introduced new planes, showcasing a more cohesive narrative structure. From maybe around 2003 to 2015, the creativity in the design of the new sets and planes rose to new heights and really consolidated some of the fan-favorite planes in the lore. In this era, the set releases would be organized into blocks, each comprising 3 sets and often sharing a cohesive theme or narrative. This way, we could spend more time in each plane, and in some of the planes, even a 3-act narrative structure would be employed in which each set was an act, and the 3 of them together would tell a full story. In this era, I think we should talk about some of the bigger fan favorites in a little bit more detail. Let's start with, you guessed it, Ravnica. It was first introduced in 2005. Ravnica is an urban fantasy plane whose main planet is covered in a large city, also known as Ravnica. It takes its flavor from that of Eastern Europe and Slavic folklore, most notably 15th century Prague. Ravnica is a worldwide cityscape, an ecumenopolis consisting of a patchwork of grand halls, decrepit slums, and ancient ruins, with layer upon layer of stonework. It is one of the most densely populated planes in the multiverse. The main selling point of Ravnica, however, are the 10 guilds, which rule the city, are governed by a guild pact that lasted more than 10 millennia, and are formed by all the possible combination pairs of the 5 primary magic colors. The reason this plane is so lore-heavy and thematically rich is because it really relies on the 5 color mechanics to create interesting combinations and juxtapositions. By combining 2 of the 5 colors from the color wheel to form a guild, it really highlights which characteristics these 2 colors have in common and which characteristics contrast philosophically. The Azorius Senate is the white and blue guild. Focus on order, law, and bureaucracy. The Azorius Senate functions as Ravnica's official government and creates Ravnican laws. Both colors seek order and structure, but Azorius adds the intellectual depth of blue to create a system of laws and regulations for the greater good, while white emphasizes order, justice, and community. The Orshov Syndicate is the white and black guild. It uses its religious facade to maintain control over the populace, with ceremonies and rituals serving both spiritual and economic purposes. Orzhov combines white's sense of community with black's pursuit of power, often involving debt and exploitation. It embodies a structured hierarchy that allows for collective progress while also serving individual interests. The Dimir House is the Black and Blue Guild. It is a secretive and enigmatic organization that operates in the shadows. They are known for their emphasis on stealth, espionage, and the manipulation of information. They are often involved in covert operations, gathering intelligence, and employing subterfuge to achieve their goals. Blue and Black both appreciate cunning and strategy. Dimir merges intellect with deceit, utilizing information and secrecy to achieve its goals. There's an emphasis on secrecy, manipulation, and leveraging information. The Izzet League is the Blue and Red Guild. The Izzet are known for their passion for experimentation, innovation, and the arcane sciences. They are a creative and impulsive guild that values intellect and a relentless pursuit of knowledge. The Izzet League is responsible for various inventions, magical experiments, and the development of cutting-edge technologies on Ravnica. Izzet combines Blue's intellectual curiosity with Red's passion for experimentation, leading to unpredictable and explosive outcomes. What both colors have in common is their shared focus on innovation and creativity. The Rakdos cult is the Black and Red Guild. Known for their theatrical and often brutal performances, the Rakdos engage in wild parties, dangerous stunts, and acts of violence for entertainment. They are a chaotic and unpredictable force on Ravnica. Black's ambition aligns with Red's desire for immediate gratification. Rakdos embraces chaos, revelry, and the pursuit of pleasure without constraint, often resulting in destructive and chaotic tendencies. The Golgari Swarm is the Black and Green Guild. It embraces the cycle of life and death, decay, and the natural order of the world. They are known for their connection to the Undercity, where they manage the recycling and repurposing of organic matter, often using necromancy and the power of nature to achieve their goals. The Golgari see beauty in the decomposition and rebirth of life, and their guild symbolizes the balance between death and new beginnings, reflecting the harmony of Black's ambition and Green's connection to nature. The Selesnya Conclave is the White and Green Guild. It embraces themes of unity, community, and nature. The guild is a vast network of elves, humans, and elementals who share a collective consciousness known as the Conclave. Selesnya's philosophy emphasizes the importance of cooperation, growth, and the interconnectedness of all living things. They seek harmony with nature, valuing the strength that comes from a united and diverse community, blending the order and selflessness of white mana with the connection to nature and growth inherent in green mana. The Gruul Clans is the Red and Green Guild. It embodies primal instincts, chaos, and the raw forces of nature. The guild rejects civilization's constraints and values freedom, embracing the untamed wilderness. Gruul members are often fierce warriors, shamans, or creatures that represent the wild and unrestrained aspects of red and green mana. The Gruul clans seek to reclaim and protect the wilderness from urban expansion, embodying the untamed, impulsive, and passionate qualities of both red and green mana. The Boros Legion is the Red and White Guild. It embodies the themes of justice, honor, and military discipline. The guild functions as a law enforcement and military force dedicated to maintaining order and protecting the people of Ravnica. Boros members are often soldiers and knights who uphold a strict code of conduct, blending the passion, emotion, and impulsiveness of red mana with the sense of justice, order, and collective well-being of white mana. Finally, the Simic Combine is the Green and Blue Guild. It embodies themes of evolution, adaptation, and the manipulation of life. The guild is dedicated to the study and enhancement of life forms through bioengineering and the merging of natural and magical elements. Simic members include scientists, mages, and hybrid creatures that represent the harmony between nature and intellect, blending the growth and connection to the natural world inherent in green mana, with the intellect, curiosity, and pursuit of knowledge of blue mana. I think Ravnica is a prime example of how setting restrictions on your world building could really spark creativity. By simply combining the 5 colors in pairs, you can instantly derive, based on their philosophy, these collectives that reflect the combination of their values. It makes perfect sense that the combination of blue and white would result in a law, judiciary-centric guild, the same way as the combination of blue and black would result in a stealth guild of assassins and intelligence. The foundation laid by the creation of the color wheel allowed the Ravnica world building to sprawl by just combining these elements. From there, you can also derive what the architecture of each district associated with each guild would look like, and also which fantasy races and species would make sense for each of them. The possibilities are endless. Moving on to another favorite of mine, we have Innistrad. It is a plane known for its gothic horror themes and supernatural elements. It is a world where dark forces, monstrous creatures, and ancient evils roam the landscape. The plane is characterized by its 3 moons, which play a significant role in the plane's events. The humans of Innistrad live in constant fear of werewolves, vampires, zombies, and other creatures of the night. The plane is also home to powerful angels and sorceries that can combat these dark forces. The plane has become a fan favorite for its atmospheric and thematic storytelling, drawing inspiration from classic horror tropes. So let's see how the authors tackled the challenge of fitting this world into the 5 colors framework. For white, we have races such as humans representing the resilient, devout, and often struggling population, and angels representing salvation and hope. In terms of themes, it is associated with life gain and protection from evil forces. Mechanically, it often features cards that provide protection, healing, and support. For blue, we have races such as spirits and illusions representing otherworldly spirits and creatures that play with perception and reality, reflecting the mysterious and deceptive nature of blue mana. Blue excels in control and manipulation, featuring counterspells, bounce effects, and card draw. Black has zombies, vampires, and necromantic creatures, emphasizing the undead and the macabre. Black is known for its emphasis on death, sacrifice, and the graveyard. Cards in black often involve creature removal, discard, and resurrection from the dead. Red is represented by werewolves and devils, representing the untamed and chaotic forces of nature. Red is the color of aggression and direct damage. It features mechanics like haste, direct damage spells, and cards that tap into the impulsive and chaotic aspects of its nature. Green is represented by werewolves as well, but also creatures of the forest like wolves and spiders. Green excels in growth, mana ramp, and creature-based strategies. It often features cards that produce mana, accelerate growth, and summon powerful creatures. So once again, we can use the framework of the 5 colors, this time looking through the prism of a gothic horror setting. It is such a creative combination of elements and a creative take on the challenge of combining these restrictions. The artwork sets the tone perfectly for this world, and it really makes you wish you could see more of it. Attention to detail is present even in the background architecture details in some cards' designs. Innistrad was based on Prussia, an 1800s empire that spanned most of northern Europe that wasn't Scandinavian. To bring it into reality, the artists working on this plane began concept work with some distinct German visual elements found in architecture to make it familiar yet fantastical, such as crisscross homes and Gothic churches. Each time we return to Innistrad, we get a different tweak in the concept, so we can experience the plane through different lenses. In the Midnight Hunt set, we visit in an autumn setting, adding elements such as folk horror and a werewolf focus to the Gothic horror themes already established. In another set, Eldritch Moon, the plane is invaded by eldritch abominations from another plane in the multiverse, fusing classic Gothic horror creatures to eldritch horror elements to create even more horrible abominations. This really highlights Magic's ability to keep revisiting already established planes and giving it a new interpretation by meshing the existing elements with new aspects. The world-building style, however, continued evolving, and in 2015 Wizards of the Coast introduced a significant change by moving away from the block structure and adopting a new set system. The new model featured 2 set blocks and eliminated the annual core set, streamlining the release schedule. What that meant in practice was we would spend less time in each plane and would switch between planes in a 1-year cycle more frequently. This new era was responsible for creating an assortment of many new and interesting planes, but the speed in which we moved on from one plane to another made it a bit hard to follow and to feel invested in each new creation. We have planes like the Egyptian mythology-inspired Amonkhet, Ixalan, characterized by a tropical uncharted world where dinosaurs roam, ancient vampire conquistadors seek power, merfolk navigate magical waters, and pirates embark on high seas adventures. Eldraine, a plane inspired by fairy tales and Arthurian mythology. Kaldheim, a plane inspired by Norse mythology, and many others. This is also the era Magic created their own Avengers. That's right, a team of super powerful planeswalker representing all the colors of the color wheel, called the Gatewatch. The Gatewatch arc in Magic spanned several sets, primarily from Battle for Zendikar in 2015, ending in War of the Spark in 2019. During this period, the Gatewatch faced various threats across different planes, culminating in a showdown on Ravnica against the Elder Dragon Nicol Bolas. The era in Magic's lore that prominently featured planeswalkers and their collaboration is often associated with the Gatewatch. The Gatewatch is a group of planeswalkers who banded together to protect the multiverse from existential threats. The Gatewatch's formation is somewhat reminiscent of superhero teams, as it brought together powerful individuals with diverse abilities and backgrounds to face common foes. The founding members included iconic planeswalkers like Jace Beleren, representing blue, Gideon Jura, representing white, Chandra Nalaar, representing red, Nissa Revan, representing green, and later Liliana Vess, representing black. The central narrative during this period focused on the Eldrazi threat on the plane of Zendikar, particularly the monstrous Eldrazi titans, Ulamog and Emrakul. The Gatewatch united to defend Zendikar and other planes from these cosmic horrors. The Gatewatch storyline was characterized by epic battles, personal growth for individual members, and the exploration of the multiverse's vast and diverse landscapes. Each set contributed to the overarching narrative, creating a sense of continuity and a shared universe akin to comic book storytelling. The conclusion of the Gatewatch arc occurred in War of the Spark, where Nicol Bolas executed a grand plan to become the godlike ruler of the multiverse. The Gatewatch, along with numerous other planeswalkers, gathered on Ravnica to confront Bolas in a massive battle. While the Gatewatch narrative received praise for its cinematic and immersive storytelling, it also faced some criticism for its departure from the more decentralized and open-ended nature of Magic's earlier storytelling. Nevertheless, this era marked a significant shift in how planeswalkers were portrayed and how their stories were interwoven into the broader fabric of Magic. Some of the other common criticisms were predictability, the storytelling structure, with a recurring group of heroes facing external threats, became somewhat predictable and formulaic. Some critics argued that the power level of the Gatewatch members seemed inconsistent, and the narrative sometimes struggled to balance, showcasing their strength without making challenges seem insurmountable or trivial. The constant presence of the Gatewatch in every conflict led to concerns about the perceived invincibility of these characters, potentially diminishing the stakes of the narrative. The focus on a core group of characters could overshadow the rich diversity and individuality of Magic's vast planes and characters. While the Gatewatch era had its share of criticisms, it also brought a cinematic quality to Magic storytelling and introduced many players to a cohesive narrative across multiple sets. But it did leave an impression that Wizards of the Coast were just trying to surf the wave of the superhero cinematic boom. From this era, a personal favorite of mine is the Kaladesh Plane. It is a steampunk aesthetic plane that merges elements of Indian culture, Art Nouveau, and Renaissance fairs and festivals to create a pretty unique combination of references. I do appreciate the more straightforward homages such as the Greek, Egyptian, or Norse mythology planes, but what is special about Kaladesh is the unique combination of references that creates something completely fresh. Kaladesh is a plane that embraces innovation and invention. It is renowned for its incredible technological advancements, including intricate automatons, magical artifacts, and ether-powered devices. Ether is a magical energy source that permeates Kaladesh. It is harnessed for various purposes, from powering devices to fueling vehicles and constructs. The Inventors Fair is a grand event where inventors from across Kaladesh showcase their creations. It serves as a focal point for the plane's creative and technological endeavors. Kaladesh is abundant with magical artifacts and constructs. Artificers and inventors create intricate automata, golems, and other artificial beings using the plane's advanced technology. The storyline in Kaladesh revolves around the tension between the consulate and a group of rebels led by the renegade Pia Nalaar, who resist the oppressive regulations on inventors. The conflict escalates in the Ether Revolt set, where the rebels rebel against the consulate's rule. The plane also has their own set of fantasy races, including the Etherborn, a unique race native to the plane, born from the magical energy known as Ether. They have a limited lifespan but possess a deep connection to the plane's etheric energy. Etherborn often pursue a life of pleasure and indulgence due to their short existence. It is a haunting and poetic race that offers a lot of possibilities for exploration of themes such as the brevity of life and what really is important. There are also the Vedalken, a race known for their intelligence and logical thinking. They have a distinctive appearance, with tall, slender bodies and elongated limbs. Vedalken are often involved in the sciences and are crucial to the technological advancements on Kaladesh. Kaladesh is known for its unique blend of steampunk aesthetics, magical innovation, and a focus on the spirit of creativity. The plane showcases Magic's versatility in exploring diverse and imaginative worlds within the multiverse. In more recent years, a recent development in the shape of Universes Beyond, a Magic sub-brand announced in early 2021, has been raising some controversy. Wizards described Universes Beyond as a combination of Magic's gameplay with worlds, stories, and characters cherished by millions. This means bringing other franchises and works into Magic. These IP crossovers include franchises such as Assassin's Creed, Final Fantasy, Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who, Dungeons & Dragons, and even some more left-field choices like Transformers and Jurassic Park. The problem with that, from a world-building standpoint, is that a mix of all these IPs in the same game would shatter any sort of immersion a player might normally expect in the larger binding aesthetic of the Magic multiverse that makes the game distinct. Imagine you playing as a Planeswalker and casting in the same battle a Gandalf, and also an Optimus Prime card. It just cheapens the lore of carefully constructed world and how they interconnect through the narrative. Aside from the fact that some of the IPs don't fit Magic at all, some people, however, don't seem to mind, and just see Universes Beyond as a fun spin-off kind of thing that shouldn't be connected to the world-building elements of the main story. And it's also a good opportunity to attract potential new players who would see the Universes Beyond version of their favorite IP as a gateway to Magic. However, if you are one of the people disillusioned by these recent business developments, there is still hope that Wizards of the Coast will continue to provide fun, thematically interesting planes to expand the interesting multiverse they carefully crafted. If you look at the planned pipeline for 2024, we have sets such as Outlaws of Thunder Junction, a Western genre themed plane, which sounds amazing out of the box and full of possibilities to explore original races and mechanics. Also Duskmorn, a set based on the haunted house trope, slasher films and Amityville horror, and Murder at the Karlov Manor, a murder mystery set that also offers some creative potential. So these are the key takeaways I hope this video provides in terms of what can be learned from Magic when it comes to world building. It showcases the importance of coherence, diversity, and creative constraints, the significance of establishing a cohesive and interconnected multiverse. Magic's planes are not isolated, they form a vast tapestry with consistent lore, allowing players to explore diverse realms that contribute to a larger narrative. This cohesiveness enhances player engagement, inviting them to delve into the rich history and mythology that connects the various planes. By grounding the Magic system in distinct philosophies represented by 5 colors, Magic ensures thematic consistency while allowing for endless variations. This approach emphasizes the power of constraints in driving creativity, offering a structured framework within which to explore and innovate. Additionally, Magic highlights the importance of diversity in world building. The game draws inspiration from a wide array of sources, including mythologies, historical periods, and cultural references. Each plane introduces unique races, landscapes, and themes reflecting the richness of real-world diversity. This inclusivity not only makes the game more appealing to a global audience, but also enhances the depth and authenticity of the fictional worlds. Magic's commitment to representing a spectrum of cultures and narratives serves as a powerful example for creators, emphasizing the value of embracing diverse influences to construct immersive and relatable worlds. In essence, Magic, the Gathering teaches us that effective world building requires a delicate balance of coherence, creativity within constraints, and a celebration of diverse influences to captivate and resonate with a broad audience. Magic not only sets a benchmark for world building in the realm of tabletop gaming, but also provides valuable insights for creators in various media. As creators embark on their world building endeavors, they can draw inspiration from Magic's approach, recognizing the power of cohesive lore, the benefits of creative constraints, and the transformative impact of embracing diverse cultural influences. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. You can also suggest some other piece of media you want to see the world building explored. See you next time, and may your tales be ever epic.